The Galactic Combat Academy's orientation hall buzzed with the chittering, growling, and harmonic tones of dozens of species. Liana Martinez sat quietly in the back row, her small human frame dwarfed by the towering Kithrani warriors beside her. Their crystalline exoskeletons gleamed under the artificial lighting, natural armor that could deflect plasma bolts. Across the aisle, a group of Vorthon cadets flexed their 6 muscular arms, each limb capable of crushing steel. "Welcome, cadets, to advanced weaponry applications," announced Professor Zektar, his reptilian features stern as his forked tongue tasted the air. "Today you will demonstrate the natural weapons your species brings to combat. This assessment will determine your placement in our specialized tracks." One by one, the cadets were called forward. The Kithrani demonstrated their razor-sharp crystalline projections that could extend from any part of their bodies. The Vorthons showed how their arms could morph into blade-like appendages. The gaseous ethereals condensed into cutting whips of solidified atmosphere. Each display drew appreciative nods from the professor and impressed murmurs from the class. "Cadet Martinez," Professor Zektar called, his yellow eyes scanning his datapad. "Human, please demonstrate your species' natural weapons." Liana stood, slowly, feeling every pair of alien eyes in the room focus on her. She walked to the front, her soft footsteps barely audible compared to the thunderous movements of her classmates. The demonstration area felt enormous around her 5-foot frame. A Vorthon in the front row, Corvex, let out a deep rumbling laugh. "Professor, I believe there's been a mistake. Humans have no natural weapons. They're one of the weakest species in the galaxy." The comment sparked a wave of agreement. The Kithrani beside him, Ziel, clicked her mandibles in what passed for laughter among her kind. Indeed. No claws, no fangs, no armor plating, no poison glands. What could she possibly demonstrate? Their species is known only for their primitive tools and reckless behavior. Professor Zektar raised a scaled hand for silence, though his expression suggested he shared their skepticism. "Cadet Martinez, please proceed. Show us what you've brought to demonstrate." Liana looked around the room at the expectant faces, some curious, others openly mocking. She took a deep breath and raised her hands, palms facing the class. "These," she said simply. The silence that followed was broken by waves of laughter from various species, each expressing amusement in their own way. Corvex's deep rumbling grew louder. "Hands? Those soft, fleshy appendages are weapons? Professor, surely this is a joke." But Professor Zektar had gone very still, his reptilian eyes narrowing as he studied Liana's raised hands. Something in his expression made the laughter gradually die down. "Explain," he said quietly. Liana stepped forward, her voice gaining strength. "These hands built the first spacecraft when most of your species were still bound to single planets. These hands forged tools from raw metal, while others were content with what nature provided. These hands learned to harness fire, electricity, nuclear fusion, and quantum mechanics." She began to pace, her confidence growing with each word. "You see weakness, but these hands are the most adaptable weapons in the galaxy. They can grip a rifle with the same precision they use to perform microsurgery. They can build massive starships and construct delicate circuitry. They can create art, write poetry, and in the next moment, fashion explosives from basic household materials." The room had grown completely quiet now. Even Corvex had stopped laughing. "But more than that," Liana continued, "these hands are connected to something far more dangerous than any claw or fang." She tapped her temple. "A human brain. A brain that looks at every situation and asks, 'How can I win?' A brain that doesn't accept natural limitations, but instead asks, 'How can I overcome them?'" She gestured to the alien cadets. "Your species evolved natural weapons because you needed them to survive in your environments. Humans evolved hands because we decided to make our entire environment our weapon." Professor Zektar leaned forward in his chair. The ancient warrior had seen countless battles across the galaxy, but something in this small human's words sent a chill through his scales. Liana picked up a simple stylus from the professor's desk. "In these hands, This becomes a precision, striking weapon, targeting nerve clusters with surgical accuracy. That chair becomes a shield, a battering ram, or broken down into improvised clubs. The environmental controls become a way to alter atmosphere composition, temperature, or gravity. To tactical advantage, she set the stylus down gently. Every human learns this from childhood. We call it making do or improvising. You might call it weaponizing everything. When a human has nothing, they have everything, because these hands can turn anything into a tool, and any tool into a weapon. The demonstration hall was so quiet now that the hum of the life support system seemed deafening. The galaxy's strongest species have natural armor, Liana said softly. Humans build better armor. The fastest species have wings or enhanced limbs. Humans build faster ships. The most naturally armed species have claws and fangs. Humans. She smiled, and something predatory flickered in that expression. Humans build weapons that can crack planets. She looked directly at Corvex. You asked what I brought to demonstrate. I brought the most dangerous weapons in the galaxy. Not because they're the sharpest or the strongest or the most naturally evolved. She held up her hands again. But because they never stop improving. Professor Zektar stood slowly, his ancient mind processing what he had just witnessed. In 30 years of teaching combat applications, he had never seen a demonstration quite like this. The human hadn't shown superior physical capability. Instead, she had demonstrated something far more terrifying. The ability to turn anything, even perceived weakness, into a tactical advantage. Class dismissed, he said quietly. Cadet Martinez, please remain. As the other species filed out in unusual silence, Professor Zektar approached Liana. For the first time in decades, the old warrior felt something he had not experienced since his own first combat, a healthy respect for a truly dangerous opponent. Welcome to Advanced Tactical Innovation, he said. I believe you'll find the curriculum suitable. Liana smiled and flexed her fingers. These hands are ready to learn.